Hello, Sim Gamers. We are back with some more Let's Play Sailwind. We're on 0.22.1 in Steam Early Access. And some new features have come out, which we're definitely going to take advantage of and take a look at today. The first of which are the new and updated mooring lines. In between episodes, I moved my ship over to the shipyard here to see what upgrades were available and what I could reasonably afford. After replenishing supplies and other things, I sort of opted against any further upgrades. What we're going to do instead is take a look at the new content. There is a new region available that we're going to go sail to. And it's important to note that this region is not on the map. The only way you can find it is to find missions that go there, and they will give you the coordinates along the way. And here it is. We have goods to deliver to Fire Fish Town in the Fire Fish Lagoon. That's the new region available. It's sort of south of the Emerald Archipelago. I guess you could say south-south west, I think. Approximate location 28 north, 3 east. There is no map available. We'll be rewarded in Emerald Dragons. This is due in 46 days. And there's also a bunch of medicine. And is there anything else going to Firefish Town? We could also take books. So we've got 3 missions to load up, all bound for Firefish Town, which is south of the Emerald Archipelago, and we're way up in Eastern. So this is going to take a little bit of time to get there, but I think the journey will definitely be worth it. Just going to start accepting these missions and loading everything up. So remember our navigational challenge. We basically want to head south-southwest, probably to Happy Bay. The place we're looking for is approximately 28. Latitude 28, longitude 3. Which puts it, I guess, in my white dot approximately here. We'll put up a little graphic with the map up. It's put in this new location south of the known map, or of the recorded map anyway. And we're going to go ahead and let our sandbuck just cruise along here. Having a chip log allows us to check our speed in all conditions to see if we're maximizing our ability to sail. Looks like we're reliably getting about 2 knots. Because the rudder induces additional drag, we need to do whatever we can to make sure that we are actually facing the right direction with the sail configuration, rather than relying on rudder to keep our heading. So I really want to make sure I have sail configuration set up so that rudder amidships is the way to go. Which means relearning a little bit what we're doing, so we'll just take a little time experimenting. That looks like it's pretty stable, and the sun is actually coming up. All right, Sim Gamers, here's the situation. It's day 3 of our journey south-southwest to Firefish Lagoon. And that means it's time to take our noontime reading. This will determine both our longitude and latitude. Looks like our latitude, is 37 degrees. And as soon as this crosses the middle there, that gives us our latitude, so right about there. I'm calling that 9 minutes before midnight, or before noon, midnight. For easier math, we can call it 8 because it's 4 minutes of difference per degree. And then if I take a look on the map here, that means we're at 37 -2 So Happy Bay is directly, basically southeast of where we are. Once we find our way to the number 3 latitude line, I'm sorry, the number 3 longitude line, we're going to be going straight south from there. So, you know, we'll probably reach that tomorrow. But for now, south-southwest is the order of the day. And in case you were wondering, like in your game, maybe you've forgotten precisely where you're going, just go check out your log. It'll tell you, it gives all the information, including the map. Origin port Fort Eastern, destination Fire Fish Town. 6 crates of goods. Approximate location 38 north, 3 east. And that's where we are going. Our sail configuration is more or less fine. In fact, I could pull in a little bit more of the mainsail sheet winch, which will help tend to pull the front of the ship to port a little bit with respect to everything else. And I'm otherwise pretty happy with my wind angles. Looks like the wind is relatively calm right now, so we're not breaking any records. Oh, the wind has picked up since this morning. And that's it for our day 3 check-in. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and grab a speed reading with our chip log. Right click throws that in the water. And looks like we have some pretty decent speeds here. Averaging around 3 knots, I guess. And there we have it. Continuing on, as you can see by the lovely emerald waters, we've obviously crossed over into at least the region of the Emerald Archipelago on day 5. And we are getting ready for our noontime observation to find our latitude and longitude. And just to remind you here on how this instrument works, the tip of the sundial will indicate our latitude, and we're just shy of 35 degrees, so we could call that, I'm not sure if it's closer to 35 than 34. I'm going to call it 34 degrees latitude. Once this shadow reaches the center, we'll be able to compare it to our chronometer. And chronometer is always set to be noon at Fort Eastern, or longitude 0. Every longitude of difference from that longitude 0 is 4 minutes of difference on the clock. So we can use that to sort of do a quick calculation and realize that if we want to be on -3 latitude, is it -3 or 3? What is it on the map? It is 3 latitude. I'm sorry, 3 longitude. Then we're looking for 12 minutes before noon on the chronometer when this reading hits local high noon. If it's later than 12:48, then I know I'm a little further west than I want to be. If it's earlier than 12:48, I'm still I've gone too far east. We're coming up on that observation pretty soon. Right now is good. Hey, we are right on the money. That was like either 12:47 or 12:48, depending on how you want to look at it. So that tells me from here on out, our journey takes us due south. I never did see Happy Bay on the map. Let me just get my course set here really quick, and then we'll take a look at the old navigation log. I wasn't able to do a reading yesterday, so we've gone 2 days. We missed yesterday's reading, I should say. Now we've got a reading for today, so we've had 2 days worth of journey on this particular reading. Let me just make sure my sails are more or less configured for fairly neutral sailing. Okay, taking a look at the zoomed in map. What did we say we were at? We're calling it 34 latitude and 3 longitude. So yeah, we slipped by Happy Bay. We maybe never even really got close enough to actually see it anyway. Now we're headed due south. We might spot the actual Emerald Archipelago on the way by, but we might not. And this is just pure open seas navigation using the sun, stars, and a clock. If for whatever reason you're coming into this series late and you're wondering, what the heck is he talking about with all his navigation stuff? Hang on, disaster. We've got gear floating around all over the place. Anyway, as I was saying, if you want help understanding this navigation, check out my Navigator's Guide to Sailwind, which explains all these concepts in pretty good detail. Okay, table, you just hang out there. Don't move, please. Just getting my maps reset after that issue. Good enough. We don't actually need Astron. In fact, if we want anything available for us to use, the most useful one will probably be the Emerald Archipelago. Our current destination isn't on any map, and that is by design. That's intentional by the game devs. In order to know where I'm going, I can take a look at my log. And it's telling me I'm headed to a new location that's available as of patch 0.22, Fire Fish Town. In the patch notes, they call it the Fire Fish Lagoon. So that's where we're going. Approximate location, 28 degrees north, 3 degrees east. So, we take a look at the map once again. 40 to 34 is a change of 6 degrees. 34 to 28 is another change of 6 degrees. So after all the sailing I've done so far, I want to say roughly 3.5, 4 hours real time. I'm halfway there. We're actually situated for some leisurely sailing today. Heading due south. Wind is easy peasy. Oh, while we're here, let's use our new device. Pick this up in Fort Astron. Some of my spare cash. It's a chip log, and it quite simply reads the velocity of the ship in, I want to say, knots. Currently, we're only getting about 2 knots. I guess it's pretty typical for the sandbuck. Sometimes gusting to 4. But 2 to 3 knots is about what you can expect to read on the default sandbuck. However, the default sandbuck, you can get 2 to 3 knots in almost every sailing condition. So that is it for our Day 5 update. This terminology correction comes from Tony Bodlovic, who says, "Your terms for tacking and jibing are correct, but you're mispronouncing jibe. The Y is the I sound." Thanks for the help, Tony. I love all the insights that people bring to a community like Sailwind, and I will try to remember to differentiate jibing from the jib. That track was Blue Waves by Harris Heller, part of the Streambeats Lo-Fi playlist available on Spotify. This Day 6 observation is awfully difficult, but it looks like we're at 33 degrees latitude, and as close to 3 degrees longitude as anything else. But it is stormy out and stuff, and we keep sort of losing momentum a little bit. Strong waves, strong wind, providing a good amount of healing for us. But if we have, a slight angle on the sails, then everything will be all right. And a lot of that energy will be converted into velocity. In fact, we can go ahead and check it with our chip log now. In this condition, we're going to be making great progress at somewhere between 8 and 10 knots. So let's just let her get moving. What did I say we were at? 33 longitude, 3 latitude, or 33 latitude, 3 longitude. So about 5 more degrees of latitude to go, and we will be there. I'm pretty sure we left on day 72. It is now day 81, meaning we've been at sea for 9 days. Coming up on our observation window, let's see what our current velocity is. Right around 8 knots. And pull out the old sun compass. We can probably call that one 31 degrees, which means we have 3 more degrees latitude before we get to where we're exactly looking for. But this has been a pretty tame trip. Not much in the way of storms or anything. I did have one big storm that I went through, but nothing too bad. Keeping good speed. Supplies are looking good. Able to catch fish most days. There we go. And yeah, that was probably 11:49 if I was to do my best to estimate that time, which still puts us more or less on 3 degrees longitude. So if we're at 3 degrees, that means Dragon Cliffs, if we turned due east, we'd be able to reach Dragon Cliffs if we wanted any supplies or anything relatively shortly. But we're going to continue on southward. Beautiful sunrise, sim gamers. When I did the pre-bed observation with the plumb line here, the quadrant, it basically read 29 degrees latitude. Now, of course, doing longitude could be done with a couple of stars on the horizon at specific times of night, but that type of reading is highly inaccurate or highly unreliable. Oh man, we got some great wind to work with today. So we're going to adjust our sails to take advantage of it. That should do. Maybe I'll pull one or two in on the mizzen mast so I don't turn too far westward. In fact, oh my gosh, land ho! We have been at sea for 11 days. It is the morning of the 11th day. And we've made it to the lagoon, I think. I'm going to point straight at it. So the rest of today's journey will be going there and hopefully finding a nice place to dock. Having never been to the lagoon, it's new content. New content as of Sailwind Early Access 0.22. But we have gone off the map at 29 degrees latitude, somewhere in the vicinity of 3 degrees longitude, which is exactly what our mission called for. We have three missions: goods, medicine, and nails for Fire Fish Town. There is no map available. The only thing we're given is the approximate location of 28 degrees north, 3 degrees east, and the rest is up to us. Well, I almost hit that abandon button. That would make me sad. The rest is up to us to find on our own, using nothing but navigation by the sun and stars. We'll definitely be looking for a lovely beauty shot as we get closer. We may still very well have more than a day's travel. It's hard to tell how big the island is. But until then, I'm going to make sure I'm hydrated and work on getting food and all that good stuff in me. We've used 1 2/3 of a barrel of water. I probably have just enough. I have enough to get back to the Emerald Archipelago. The Emerald Archipelago is, in fact, specifically like Dragon Cliffs or even the southernmost island, Sage Hills, is only 3 degrees latitude and 1.5 degrees longitude away. Current speed about 7 knots. I heard a sail luffing in the wind, but I think that's going to be intentional. We are quite close hauled on the way to this other island amongst just some rather large rolling waves as we come up on the new archipelago to complete this mission. Goods to Fire Fish Town, medicine and nails. We are in our midday observation window, and I do want to get a last observation even though we have land in sight. Sure enough, sun compass is clearly reading 28 degrees, so we were able to traverse a full degree essentially overnight. It's taken us, I want to say it was 11 days to get here, to get this far, I should say. Might be a 12th day by the time we actually reach the island. And I'll make sure to put up an infographic detailing all the places and stops we made along, not stops, all the locations where we made our observations. And we're 8 minutes shy of noon, which indicates to me that we're actually at 2 longitude. So this 3 east might be inaccurate. Might be 28 north, 2 east. But at the very least, we can see it from far away. We were surprised when we saw land earlier, actually. And this may indeed be an actual archipelago with multiple islands. We won't know until we get there, I suppose. The wind has turned a little more favorable for us, which is good. We'll just keep on sailing directly at it. All right, sim gamers, the archipelago of Fire Fish Lagoon is ahead. I'm not sure precisely how far away it is, but it is looming against the night sky horizon, and I don't want to run aground. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to withdraw all of our sails and anchor down for the evening, and then resume our trip in the morning. And this also gives me a chance to check out, I want to test a hypothesis with the new sail physics. Now that even a furled sail will apply some light wind pressure on the ship, which is true to form for real ships. I'm curious to know if an anchored ship will weather vane against the anchor, against the wind, just like in real life. which, if that's the case, requires a particular skill to get going again. And we'll find out soon enough. Well, we dropped the anchor all the way and we haven't hit the bottom, so I guess we'll go with that and see if we stay more or less put for the night. Beautiful pre-dawn hours. Looks like we're still facing the right direction. Whether or not we can actually easily get underway. Oh my gosh. We are running, prepared to run before the wind. We've got to haul up our anchor. And looks like the wind might have shifted around and actually pushed us closer to the island overnight. So I'm happy to check it out when we get there. Step 1, get the anchor up. If you want to know, by the way, if you want to know how I did the navigation for all this in greater detail, how to use the tools like I was using the sun compass and the chronometer, combining them both to not only determine my longitude, which the sun compass is very, very good at, but also determining my latitude, which the sun compass is very, very good at doing all by itself, but combining that with the chrono compass to determine my longitude. Then check out the Navigator's Guide to Sailwind, one of the videos I made a while ago on how to use these various instruments to do navigation very similar to the real world counterparts. Longitude is calculated, even to this day, by a highly accurate clock and now it's calculated by GPS, which, by the way, still requires a highly accurate clock. A very, very, very accurate clock, to be exact. But you take the time noon, which would normally be local noon, and compare it against what your local noon is according to the sundial. And from that, you can find out a difference. That difference corresponds to 4 minutes per degree, and that's true on Earth as well, by the way. So if your local noon is before whatever the clock says, then you are east of longitude 0. If local noon is after noon on the clock, then you are west of longitude 0. All right, I'm blabbing enough. I'm a little bit excited, a little bit nervous. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to find the right place to dock, to be honest. So let's go ahead and just get these sails running before the wind here. Don't need to do anything special, just release all the winches and let the sail figure it out. It's so interesting just seeing the backdrop of this mini archipelago against the haze and the morning sky. Not being able to make out much detail on any of it at all, so it's really hard to tell precisely where I should be sailing, what I'm looking for. This is a voyage of discovery, or a discovery experience that a person can only have once in their gaming career, and I am seeing this place for the first time. So this is going to be my invitation. If you don't want this to get spoiled for you, go watch a different video. A different video on my channel, a different video on someone else's channel. Tune into Twitch, whatever. But this is essentially your last chance to, if you're playing Sailwind, do this journey yourself and experience this location for the first time. Mr. Walkie comments, "Arg! I must have the next episode!" Well, here it is, featuring Fire Fish Lagoon. Be sure to check out the short I made detailing the Sailwind 0.22 patch notes, link in the description below. That was Gold Rush Canyon by, Gold Rush Canyon by Harris Heller, part of the Stream Beats Lo-Fi playlist, available on Spotify. All right, we need to do some advanced sandbuck navigation here. Well, we have enough rudder authority right now. That is indeed the main dock. All right, well, we don't need to go fast, we just need to get there. So we'll aim right for the middle of these two sandbars and hope for the best. As this is considered a new archipelago, I wonder if I get stuck, what recovering my ship will do. So we do have to be quite cautious of the depth of the sandbars here. In fact, what I'm going to do is furl up the mizzen mast and run with just the mainsail. Although it might be easier to do it the other way around because the mizzen mast's controls are up here in the wheelhouse as opposed to on the weather deck. But we totally did it, fam. At least the weather is nice and the wind is nice and calm. We made it to the vicinity of Fire Fish Lagoon. Now all we have to do is dock. Being very cautious of the depths of sandbars here. Need more rudder for now. Okay, we should be able to ease off on the rudder in just a bit. And then I want to raise up the main mast because I don't want to be carrying too much speed at all. What I find particularly interesting, by the way, is that the game devs managed to make this also a very unique looking area. With these glowing sand hills and everything, that's pretty spectacular, to be honest. And I can imagine this is probably one of the motivating factors for getting all the new rigging done with ropes and stuff, because this is a tight space to navigate. I definitely don't have time for fishing right now. So we'll just eat some cheese, grab some quick sips of water, and then get back to navigating this area. So the sandbar over there I got to be really cautious of. I think we're at this point where we can just, the wind is more behind us than anything else and it'll push us along. We can go ahead and fully retract all of our yardage. And just turn in. Get our sails out of the way for now. And this is where these new mooring lines are going to come in spectacularly handy, because they don't rubber band like the old mooring lines did. Having manual control of exactly where to position my ship with the mooring lines is so incredibly useful. All right, let's go ahead and get our mizzen mast also winched into position while we just slowly glide in. And I talked about it in the patch notes, but here it is. The wind very slowly applying a little bit of wind pressure even on my sails while they're fully furled means we're still carrying a little bit of momentum getting into dock here. Just get this locked off. Like so. And we are ready with a mooring line. Tied down. Grab another mooring line for the aft line. Oops. I didn't actually tie it. Splash, in the water I go. Okay, let's try that again. Attached. Now all we need to do is tighten up our winch line. And I have page up and page down bound to scroll in and scroll out, which allows me to control the distance of this line. And with that, we are sufficiently tied down. Brilliant. Let's get all of our cargo delivered. Sure, I meant to grab this one. Nails. This is going to be awkward because of the position of everything. Okay, where am I delivering to? This guy? I'm at the wrong port. Okay, it's a full-blown new archipelago. We are at Senna, and we need to head over to Fire Fish Town. But we've made it to Fire Fish Lagoon, and we are going to worry about the rest in the next episode of Let's Play Sailwind.